What's going on, everyone? It's Tim here with the TMA Connection. It's a podcast that's focusing on people that are making big differences in the world. And today, we got a cool guy, a guy that I've known for a very long time.
Very long time.
Very long time. And we're just going to put that up there like that.
It.
There you go. From back in Bel Air High School days.
Yep.
Yeah. And now he's a local business owner. He's crushing it.
Oh, thank you.
And no, I mean, you are. And so I really want to sit down and pick your brain about, what you guys are doing to be successful in business and give everybody an opportunity to meet you. So, ladies and gentlemen, Terry Vettas, welcome to the TMA Connection.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate the time, and I appreciate you actually bringing me on this awesome show. I've actually watched a couple of your episodes, and it's very educating. So
cool, man.
Yep.
Thank you.
So, yeah, I'll just tell you a little bit about us. I mean, the way we started, well, it's kind of an origin story. But, when I was in high school, my dad passed away. And at that time, I kind of hated the world. And my mom, being married for 25 years, kind of just lost it, So for 2 years, she was kind of lost. And at that point, I just needed to step up.
And it was you and your brother, right? You have a brother?
Yeah, I have two brothers and a sister.
Okay. Oh, wow.
I don't.
Four kids.
4 kids, yeah.
Four kids. Mom loses her husband.
Yep. Youngest of 4.
You're the youngest of 4.
Youngest.
You're the baby.
I'm the baby.
But, God. You probably got away with so much when you were younger.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that. But I always like to say I was the best kid. So,
Okay. Of course. I say the same thing with my sibling.
100%. So, yeah, I mean, at the time, it was kind of like we're all lost. Everybody kind of went their own way. And I don't blame my brothers and sisters. It was kind of everybody just didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
But being the youngest, I kind of stepped up and dropped out of, which wasn't. Hopefully my kids don't hear this, but I dropped out of school.
Do your kids know you dropped out of high school?
They don't. I've never told them. No. I think at some point I will tell them, but I don't want to. Because where I ended up is an anomaly. Yeah, I mean it doesn't happen for most people that drop out.
Yeah.
So
sure.
you have to. The reasoning of dropping out wasn't because I hated school or anything like that, or I just didn't want to educate myself. In fact, actually, that's one of the things I plan on doing is actually going back into college because I have my GED. I did that actually a week after I dropped out.
You went and got your GED right away.
Yeah. So
how did your was your mom cool with that at the time?
No,
she was not.
No, but and she tells me about it now. I think we're all kind of numb to it at that point. But she says like, the whole chaos of all that happening, and I just kind of was like, well, no, I'm adamant about trying to make because at the time. I'm not going to mention any of the pizzerias that I worked at, but they were like, hey, if you want to work, we'll pay you cash under the table, and but you have to be here at 9 o'clock. So at $10 an hour, $400 or $500 a week cash,
and you're what, 16, 15,
16 and a half, almost 17. Yeah.
Okay.
I was going into my senior year. I dropped out my junior year. So it was right up. I was going to be turning 18 going into my senior year.
Okay.
So at that time, it just made sense, just making $500 cash a week, mortgage due, groceries, all that stuff. I mean, we went through, at one time, our family, before my dad got sick, we were actually pretty wealthy, but not to get all off tangent, but, we're Greek, and with Greeks, sometimes they always try to save $1. And when we moved here, my dad knew somebody that was an insurance guy, and he could save them, maybe like $200 a year on insurance. And when we moved here, he was having a leg problem, and he went to the doctors, but he thought he had insurance at the time, and he didn't because the guy never filled out the information. So we ended up not having insurance, and then we ended up having to pay for everything out of pocket.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah. So no life insurance, no nothing. Going from being wealthy, we moved from New Jersey to Maryland, started a pizzeria. Spent all the money there, and then being broke. I mean, dead broke. I mean, to the point where I remember back when I was a kid in high school, actually, I had a sleepover, and our power went out, and I had to act like it was the neighborhood.
Oh, my gosh, it was the neighborhood, right? You didn't pay the bill.
Yeah, no, the bill didn't get paid. And it was crazy. So, and again, what my parents went through, 100%. I mean, I don't know if I could do what my mom did. At this point, my mom was about 35. My dad was, when he first had cancer, was 40 because he had leg cancer first. And then he went into remission, then ended up getting sarcoma and then passing away with that. So But the stuff she did, the going to trial drug things in New York and going all over while handling 4 kids, while doing all. I mean, there is no way I don't blame her in any way, which way of where that point in my life. I kind of think we just all didn't. It was a shock.
Sure.
So fast forward a little bit, dropped out, went to pizzeria, went from pizzeria to pizzeria, and again, kind of go back in the past a little bit. When I was a kid, I always was into sales. I mean, when I was 5, my dad had lunch trucks, and I would take his extra candy bars and sell those.
Okay.
Once when we moved here, when I was like 10, 11, I started a landscape car detailing business, and I would go around the neighborhood and clean people's cars and landscape for them, cut their front and backyard, not really full landscaping.
Sure.
Anything to make extra bucks. So I always looking to make more money, so.
Now, did you have a mindset of making money to wanting to spend it, or making money because just I wanted to save it before your dad passed?
I mean, so before my dad passed, it was I was really into computers at the time. And then I transitioned from computers to cars, and I kind of was just looking to save to make money to support my hobbies.
Yeah.
To grow that. And, I always, even my brothers and sisters would say, like, I because I work so much, I would save up. I had the most decked out room. Like, at the time, I think I had a 32-inch tube TV. And if you remember back then, 32 inches, like a 65, 75-inch TV now.
That was a big deal.
Yeah. So I actually bought it from, I can't remember the place now. It used to be where J.C. Penney was. What was that place called?
Montgomery Ward?
Yes,
Montgomery
Montgomery Ward. Yep.
Yeah.
I went there, and I spent $500, and I bought an entertainment stand, a TV, and a stereo system.
Okay.
So, $500 at, what is it, 13, 14 years old is a big deal. So,
Sure.
So got into that. Had no interest in audio video. Just I liked the idea of a TV, and then I liked computers. I liked the hardware side of it.
Yeah.
And then got bored of that because I got into driving cars and seeing that. So then once we went into that, I pretty much got into the pizzeria business. Saw that was kind of like which not downing anybody or anything like that. It's good for if you want a cash business and you want to make money quick and you just kind of love to be in that field. It's great. But
sure.
For me, I always wanted something more. Even to this day, I mean, I envision where I'm going to be at. I have a goal set in mind, $50 million. I mean, it's there. So wow. I wake up every morning. I say to myself, I'm going to do something to make myself to the next step. So, so once I got to that, we went from there to landscaping business. And once I was there, I was working actually with my oldest brother there.
Okay.
And I remember talking with him, and I was telling him, I'm like, I can't do this. I mean, I was making $11.45, working 65 hours a week, and I'm like, this is crazy. I'm not making any money. I'm not. And he's like, and he jokes about it now because he does really well too. And we keep bringing this up, and he was like, look, if you put 5 years in here, you'll be making $50,000 a year, and then and that's good money. You'll be riding a mower, and you'll be chilling. And I'm like, 50,000? That's not for me. And again, I don't want to sound it just from where my vision was. It just wasn't good enough for me. So.
Okay.
I ended up, I can't even remember how I ended up, but I ended up at Tweeter. I don't know if you remember that company.
Tweeter, no.
So there were actually 280 stores nationwide, but
audio sound.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Car audio and smart. Well, they were smart home before smart home was around, but they did high end hi-fi as well, and they had a location in Bel Air. Where I worked was in Timonium.
Okay.
And I originally went there. I went to the Bel Air location, and I remember I went there in my landscaping outfit, or like but like what I was wearing for there, because I wanted something that was commission sales. Like I knew that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I went there, and the guy laughed at me. He was like, "You're coming to apply for a job, and you're
looking like that."
I was like, good point. So
it's not a good start to an interview.
No. So he said, "No, we're not hiring." And so I had stepped back. I ended up at a car dealership for like 3 weeks, and I killed it there. It used to be Days Audio or whatever, right on 40 and 152.
Okay. Yep.
I think there's a camp there now, or RV camper store there.
Yeah.
And I killed it there. And again, this is probably why they went under, that place. But I ended up selling. They put me in the budget lot. And they said, look, if you sell anything in the budget lot and bring it up to the top lot where the nice cars were, you would get extra commission. So that's all I sold, is I upsold everybody to there. And then when it got to the end of the month, they got upset with me. They said the salespeople got all upset because I was taking their sales. And they said, well, what we're going to do for you is we're just going to give you $1,000 and just call it even. And I was like, nah, I'm good. And so I went back to Timonium Tweeter, made sure this time I was in nice stuff. And the guy offered me a job right then. So his name was Todd Petrick. I actually still talk to him to this day. He's actually one of my biggest mentors getting into this field, that started me into audio video. Yeah. And he basically took me under his wing. And once I got the taste of commission and seeing that you get paid what you're worth, like what your worth is, I did really well. I kind of worked my way up through the field and became one of the youngest sales managers. And then it was just like everything went nuclear, and basically 2008 hit. So in the real estate market, everybody knows that. It just killed everything, the industry as a whole. And we did really well that year. Actually, it was one of my best sales years working for somebody. But what ended up happening, their demise, was before we went out of business, Circuit City went out of business. Well, Circuit City was a powerhouse. They had 1,500 stores worldwide. So they didn't pay their vendors, and then they came to us, Tweeter, not me, but like the CEO people, and we're like, hey, you gotta pay cash. And that's not how they work. They would do terms. So they would buy all their stuff in July and pay it all back in January at the end of the holiday season. So there's a couple other things that happened in between then. They switched hands and so on and so forth. But at that time, literally my firstborn was born October 6th, 2008. I was sitting at dinner with one of my sales managers up here. I think we were at Liberatories, actually. We were sitting at dinner. We both got a text or an email saying, hey, in the next 30, 60 days, we're going to be closing all the stores.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. So that was...
so that door closes.
Yeah. I mean, it was... and actually, another thing that happened was my wife, she was in the title business. She actually got laid off while she was pregnant, which... That's a whole other... I don't think you're supposed to do that, but she got laid off.
Okay.
And so she was laid off. I'm finding out that, I'm done too as well. And,
oh my God.
At the time I was getting offers for other AV companies to say, hey, come work for us. We want you here. Because in this field, the successful businesses, we're pretty well, like, there's salespeople that are known. Same as like real estate.
Sure.
There's certain people that you scout. So they had come to me and said, hey, we'll give you this position. We'll give you this offer. And at the time, I just I sat my wife down. I was like, if I'm going to do this again and I'm going to build this up, if it's going to fail, it's going to be my fault. I had no hands in this last failure. I did everything I had to do. Yeah. So I told her, and she thought I was crazy at the time. She was like, we have a newborn. What are you doing? And I said, I'm going to do it. And so I remember I basically towards the end of the last 2 weeks, I started telling customers that were there, I'm like, hey, I'm starting my own business. If you want, because they were liquidating and selling all the products. So I said, we can install it for you. Okay. Because they weren't doing an install at the time. So I kind of started from there. And then from that point on, it just kind of rolled with it. I had a Civic hatchback at the time. I was doing, deliveries and that. I had a truck too, but I didn't want to mess up the truck, at the same time. So I was doing deliveries with that. And then it just kind of grew, thing after thing after. We went up again, and then down again, and then up again, and it just grew from there. It's been a journey. We started with that, and then we had a location at Jarvis Appliance for a little bit, where we were sharing. They have a Sub-Zero Wolf section there now. Okay. But we were in that location, and then we scaled down a little bit, and then grew exponentially. COVID rush, we probably did 100 times what we would do before. So,
were you prepared for that growth?
No, not at all.
We got slammed.
Yeah, I think everybody as a whole wasn't prepared. There are certain people that fundamentally they have the good foundation and they were ready for it. But I think any small business that was growing, didn't expect what they was coming. I mean, I remember even at that point, funny enough, our Forest Hill location, we were doing well. We were on an upward swing, and so I told my wife at that time, hey, I want to go back into a showroom, but I want to do it different, because my first showroom was more retail oriented, kind of like, we had I don't know, I think we had 21 displays on the wall, and it was 40, 46, 55, Sony, Samsung, LG, and it was just showing kind of like Best Buy, different ones, and it was showcasing that. And the problem with that is you have to change out your displays every 6 months, and we were spending anywhere from $80,000 to $120,000 on just changing out equipment every 6 months to stay up to date with things.
Because technology, everything advances so fast.
Much. Yes, absolutely. So I told her I want to do something different, and this time I wanted to create an experience center. And what it was is give you the experience of smart home in your house, a TV on the wall. People, you could go and see every TV, and now that's the thing. Like, there's so many different brands, so many different sizes. It's just crazy. We sell TVs, but that's not our market. We're about giving you the experience. So
gotcha.
We tell people all the time what we would recommend, what type of TV, OLED or LED or nano LED, all the different ones. But our core focus is to give you the picture in the house. So like the lighting, the shading, the control of everything on one iPad or iPhone or whatever you want. Remote, doesn't matter. So I wanted to have that in our showroom. So we have I think you've been out there.
Yep.
We have our conference room to show, because we do a lot of government and commercial work as well.
Okay.
So we showcase our video teleconference abilities in our conference room right when you walk in. We have our IoT, which is Internet of Things, which is like your Sonos, your Google Home, your Alexa, those type of things, smart lighting, all that section. Then we have a smart kitchen, smart bathroom, and then we have our theater and our security section in the back. And then we do, actually, one of the biggest things we added, which I didn't think it would be huge, but it's gemstone lighting. I don't know, the permanent lighting fixtures.
We talked about this.
Yeah. Blew up. Honestly, it was not as big as I thought it was going to be.
Right.
But, I mean,
and so these are the lights that are on the outside of your house that kind of illuminate, and you can do different things at different holidays.
Yep. And it's nice because the solution we use, now there's tons of solutions. Once that market kind of took off, everybody started offering it. But the problem with most of the companies is either their bulbs aren't as slick looking, so they protrude out a little bit, or one of the solutions that's inexpensive is Govee, which is you just you tack it up with glue, and it's like a little extension cord type thing. You just put it up underneath your soffit.
Gotcha.
So it's not really, it's permanent, but it doesn't look like it's supposed to be there. Our solution it's an aluminum siding with a low profile light, and it really just looks like it's part of the house.
Okay.
It really and not only is it cool for holiday stuff, but it's nice even just for everyday use.
Just an illuminating your house,
because it does a
nice.
soft white,
3,500
Kelvin to illuminate the house. If you have nice landscaping lights that are uplighting, it gives you downlighting. So it really just it can make a house that's $150,000 look like it's $1 million house.
Yeah.
I mean, really, lighting is so important in this day and age that I've learned so much in the last 2 years in lighting and what its benefits are. It's insane.
Yeah.
It can change artwork. It can change people's moods. It can change a house. It's crazy. It's called circadian lighting.
Okay.
Or circadian rhythm. So even what we have here, they actually do studies behind it to where like a soft white is going to keep you more relaxed. A brighter bluer light is going to make you feel like you have to work. More energetic.
Yeah.
So they have different levels. So it starts at about 1,800 Kelvin and goes up to 10,000 Kelvin, and it gives you the different rhythmic feeling. So you feel scared, you feel anxious, you feel relaxed, you feel whatever it is. So lighting is a big proponent in this day and age. So.
Sure. What are some other cool things that you're doing in Elite Home Entertainment that maybe most people wouldn't? Maybe it's either a technology that's on the precipice of becoming popular, or just cool stuff that it's like, wow,
It's hard. That's a hard one. That is a hard
well,
one.
because you did say like we have the kitchen and we have the smart bathroom. I'm like, smart bathroom, but
that's what I'm saying. So it's hard because I think everything's cool that we do.
Yeah,
I tell
yeah,
the
yeah.
guys that work for me, I'm like, listen, you come into work, you get to play with toys, you go in big multi-million-dollar houses or even cool businesses. Everything's cool.
Yeah.
But I would say the one thing that is, well, so there's two ways to look at it. If you're talking business side of it, what's coming up and coming is lighting and shading. Those are the two biggest things.
Okay.
But for me, is voice. So there's a company we use. It's called Josh AI. It's artificial intelligence. So unlike Alexa and Google, the biggest proponent about it is that it doesn't capture your information. So what it won't do is take whatever you're talking about, and all of a sudden you see on your phone, hey, you wanted to look at a picture frame.
You start talking about shoes, and then all of a sudden you're seeing shoes all over the place.
100%.
Yeah,
so it doesn't do that. The other thing that it does very well is that like Alexa and Google, or even Apple as well, when you say something, you have to be specific in what you're saying. So you have to tell it, hey, Siri, turn off TV in living room, whatever, all the way through, right? With Josh AI, if you have it in the room that you're in, it'll know what you're talking about. So you can say, hey, Josh, turn off TV. And if it picks up, even though you might have 10 in the area, whatever you're closest to, it'll know that you're talking about that one. What's that? Oh, yeah. It's definitely, it's cool. And then it'll learn your rhythm. So if it knows that you come home at a certain time and you say, hey, hey, Josh, I'm home, and you're home at 6 o'clock, it'll know that you want the lights at a certain level, or you like listening to certain music on certain days if it's rainy out. It'll know that it's cold out. So it learns how you do things, and it actually advances on it. So it's very cool. It's been out about 5 years now, but we're doing more and more projects. We actually have a pretty large project that's happening in the new development down the road. What do they call? What's that builder called? They're right by 22 if you're going to Main Street.
Is that Keystone?
Keystone, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, those properties there, we're doing a pretty large Josh AI project in that development.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
And that guy's got everything. I mean, he's got Control 4 automation. He's got Lutron shades, Lutron lights. He likes to stay ahead of the technology. So anything that comes out, he's like, I want it.
What are some of the cool things that you guys are doing in like backyards?
That's my favorite.
Okay.
Honestly, outdoor entertainment in general is my favorite, because that's the hardest thing to reproduce sound and really just get a good visual effect, because you're dealing with ambient light. There's nothing to reflect on, right? So our best speaker company, there's two that's they bat for each one, is either Sonance or Coastal Source Audio.
Okay.
And if you're going to be at our golf event that we're having, we're going to actually have Sonance outdoor audio stuff there to showcase. But a lot of misinformation on outdoor audios, and people still think is like, hey, I can get a pair of rock speakers or some speakers on my wall outside of my house and just blare the sound and it sounds fine. Right? That's not how it's supposed to be, because if you really think about it, if you put speakers on your house and let's say you're entertaining down, further down your outside area, you're blaring the sound on your deck or patio, wherever you're at, and these people that are sitting here can't talk, and just so you can listen to music down by your pool area.
Right.
So we do a lot of 70-volt systems where it's multiple speakers. So our average outdoor audio system, on average, is about 12 speakers.
Okay.
So we kind of create a sphere of sound for your outdoor entertainment, so that no matter where you go, you hear audio. And the idea is that it's not about being the loudest, which we can do. I mean, we can create a concert outside, but the idea is at low volume, you really get to enjoy the audio. So it's a whole different game with outdoor audio. So we'll actually take drone footage of your outdoor area. We'll show you your areas of where you would get sound, make sure that you don't have any dead points. We'll show you for subwoofer where the bass reinforcement will be at.
Yeah.
We'll go through that whole thing with you. And if you have a landscaper and you're designing something, we'll deal with them as well. But we'll create a whole system for you from scratch.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That is really cool.
So, I mean, there's a lot with our industry that it just...
Well, and everything's moving at the speed of light with technology and advances. Like, how do you keep up on it? What sources are you using to know what
to keep up with.
To keep up with, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so if we have to do all of us, not just my technicians. I make my office do it as well, because if you call them, I don't want them to not be able to answer any questions. So every 30, 60, 90, we're doing some sort of training. So we deal with vendors. That was the other reason we built our warehouse facility. So it's got a podcast studio, which we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
We built a training facility in there, and then we have our warehouse in there as well for
training facility. Oh, I'm thinking like weights.
No. You don't
have a big gym in that would be cool.
They did talk about. We have been talking about it, so
that would be really cool.
But we'll see about that. But no, it's for training for our technicians. So we have different things set up. So we have a alarm center, camera center, access control, networking, automation, audio, TV hang. It's literally a whole wall of everything, so that you can walk through step by step and try to learn it. So we do a lot of that in-house, but we also bring a lot of vendors in. And because we thankfully we do a good amount of business, we have that kind of resource that they'll make sure they come out and bring the whatever they need to our facility.
Yeah.
If not, we'll send people out. I actually have 2 guys that are going out today. They went out to California, out to Sonance to see their facility. So we send people out, and we pay for all that stuff as well. So anything certified training, we pay for our guys. I'm like as funny as it is, we talk about me dropping out of school. I'm a big proponent about learning.
Yeah.
You have to learn. If you don't learn,
it's a different type of education.
It is. But with our field, if you don't learn, you're behind. I mean, it's that much. It changes every day with us. So I'm on top of our guys. So we make sure we do active trainings. We're learning something new. If there's some product that comes in, we bring it in immediately. Even if we don't pick up the brand, we pick it up, we bring it in, play with it, see if we like it, make sure everybody gets their hands on it. So it's something you have to be on top of in technology, because if you're not, you're way behind on everything.
Yeah. So you've gone from dropping out of high school to working at pizza joints to working at Tweeter and working out of your car, starting your own business. I mean, where are you guys now? And I know there's a lot of in between there, but how much have you grown the company?
100 times. I mean, from where we were to where we are now, we kind of reflect back on it a lot, and it's just kind of mind blowing to see. Just in the simplest things, I'll be honest, just from learning KPIs and SOPs and having those things and implementations in our systems, and having like a warehouse, and having, we have close to $1 million in inventory. I mean, to think that number, where I started, where I had I didn't even have inventory. I would maybe order stuff every day to get it in. So just that, the vans that we have.
You have, how many vehicles do you have out on the road?
We have 14 vehicles.
14.
Yeah. So it's
and how many people?
So we have 25, but right now it's 8 technicians that we have out on the road.
Okay.
It's a mix of everything else in our office and stuff like that. So again, we need to be bigger. In order for us, because we're always behind, and I see the shift in the job market changing right now, to where it's becoming more, I like to say, the selfish side of me. It's more of the owner side of it.
Okay.
It's been the other side for the longest time, all through COVID, everything like that. You have that problem. Loyalty is a big problem within a lot of, and I don't blame it. I mean, you have TikTok, Instagram, all these people saying, hey, go from this job to this job, they'll give you X amount of dollars more. And I try to tell people all the time, like, listen, I've been through this. We're coming up on 16 or 17 years in business.
Jeez.
I've been through it. And I've seen it. I've seen the ups, the downs. And the first people that go are the people that are the highest paid and the newest people. So you want to go from this to that, it's going to be you're going to be gone. You know what I mean? So it might sound good now. And I'll tell you, for example, during COVID, that was probably the scariest time for us, because like I was saying, we opened up we were going to expand into Forest Hill. We opened up our location. I didn't even have a grand opening yet. I still haven't to this day, because what ended up happening is we finished construction, and then they were like, oh, COVID's here. And so we were like, all right, well,
dude, it sounds like you have perfect timing for so many things.
It is
2008.
Yep.
Wife loses job.
Yep.
Wife has baby.
Listen, God doesn't put things in your life that you can't handle. And I'll be honest, if it wasn't one for my wife, my family, and my just pure like grit, it would be a shambles. It's a lot.
It is.
Yeah, and most people will crumble.
And you keep going.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing. I mean, we were talking about it. It's persistence, resistance, and was it persistence? I wrote it down because it's a big thing for me. Persistence, consistence, and resistance.
Yeah.
I mean, so you have to be persistent in what you do every day. You have to be consistent in everything you do. You can't change up what you do, and resistant to the haters, resistant to the naysayers, resistant to the. I mean, it's just a lot.
And you've had it all.
Oh, I had it all. I've had it.
Yeah.
And as you grow, you actually see more too. So it becomes the whole, what is it, Jay-Z or whatever, more money, more problems. It's 100% the fact. I mean, it's literally, as you grow, you think you're gonna, oh, now I'm in this tier of marketing, making money, and you think, oh, it's gonna be all, clubs and popping bottles and everything, but it just becomes more problems.
More problems.
Yeah, you need more vans, more tools.
So you said we need to grow. You said that just a couple minutes ago. We need to grow, but yet more money, more problems. And this is something that I think about all the time, and I waver back and forth. There are days where I want to expand the team and bring in more agents and create more leverage and stuff like that. Then there's other times where it's just like, you know what, I'm happy with Dan, Adam, my dad.
Yeah.
With where we are right now, I'm not. But you said very, very, very determined. We need to grow. Why and to where?
Okay.
Or is there a finish line?
That's a lot.
I know. But this is just something that I think about all the time. And one answer might be today, and I could give you a completely different answer tomorrow.
And I'll be 100% honest. I'm the same way. Because there's some days where I'm like, man, this would be so much easier if it was just me and 5 guys.
Yeah.
Or me and just another guy, not have all these struggles. So there's days like that, and then there's days that I'm like, we need to grow. It always gets back to we need to grow. My wife is one of those people that says, be happy where you're at.
Yeah.
I mean, just enjoy the moment you're in. And I can't. There's a lot of reasons
okay.
of why.
Okay.
One, coming and I guess it could look at it psychology wise is, going from losing everything as a kid and being poor and not wanting to have that for my kids.
Yeah.
That's one of my driving factors is like making sure that it never happens to them. If I were to die tomorrow, that they're set.
They're taken care of.
So that's one. Two is it's the we grow thing like I said, is there a finish line? I like to say there is, but when you talk to people and I think as I don't know if you do, but therapy is a big thing. I started that within the last year or two just to kind of keep my head straight. I think that's a big thing, and they bring that up there is like, okay, well, if you hit that finish line, is that really your finish line? Are you going to hit there? Are you going to say,
or are you going to get there and the line's going to move again?
And I can't answer that. I'd like to say yes, that's my finish line, because in my head I set goals to myself. Even when I was when that all happened traumatically, I said to myself, these are the things I want in my life. These are the milestones I want to hit. I want to make $1 million by the age of 30. I want to make sure, it's all these things that I made sure I hit, and I've kind of consistently have met those goals, thankfully. So I'd like to say yes, there's a finish line.
Yeah,
but who knows? I mean, I don't know.
But then there's that other part of me that says, you know what? There's never going to be the finish line. I just love the process.
100%. I will never fully retire.
I don't think. Yeah, me neither. I don't think. If I'm sitting on a beach for more than 3 days, I'm like thinking like, okay, what do I need to do? I need to do something.
I can't even do 3 days. My wife will say I haven't had a vacation since I started the business.
Oh,
even
wow.
while I take vacations,
I'm working. You're on vacation, but you're not on vacation.
And I'll give you an example, because we do a lot of Florida projects. And actually, one of my biggest mentors in business is a gentleman named, I don't know if you know the company Monster Lee Group. Do you know them?
I don't.
Okay, so they're a mortgage marketing company, and it's two guys. It's Ken Bartz and Brandon Glickstein.
Okay.
They were one of my first clients. They were early on stages, and I saw their company start from a room smaller than this to now they're worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Now he has a beautiful house in Florida. He's been my biggest, and he's taken me along through the ride. Like as they grew, like their first job was maybe like $5,000, and it was huge to them. Now the latest project was $250,000.
Yeah,
and they constantly buy. But I always ping him to bounce things off of to try to figure out what I'm doing or how I should do it or what things am I going to hit. And one of the things he said now is where I'm at now is probably the hardest growing pain. And I see it. I mean, we feel like we're spinning wheels because it's like we need more people, but you got to find more people. And in order to find more people, then you need more work. And so it's kind of like you're at that point where it's you're butting heads. But like I'm sorry, I got a little sidetracked, but we went to Florida for his project, and I brought my team down there. And when we were down there, they're all working, and I brought my family, and we got this nice Airbnb, but I'm working while vacationing. So
right.
I constantly, I can't. My brain just doesn't allow me to relax, and that's something I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to, I want to get to the point where I meditate and take time and really, like my wife says, enjoy life a little bit more because that's all I've ever done is grind. I literally, even when I'm sick, when I'm out, I had a procedure Friday for endoscopy to check for ulcers. Funny enough, we're talking about working on that. So, and I got out.
That could be a sign, Terry.
That was a sign. But literally, as soon as I got out, I told my wife, she was there to take me home. I was like, let's go by the office. Let me go check on him. She's like, you're not going to. And I'm like, no, I got it. I'm fine. I'm good. She's like, no, you're good. So I can't. My brain just doesn't allow me to sit and relax. I'm constantly having ideas. I'm constantly thinking about growth. I'm constantly thinking about what's next or what can I do better or what. Stream of avenue, money stream can I bring in that will help me get to my finish line? Yeah. So it's always something.
Yeah. In regards to marketing, what areas have you found the most? Not what area. The area is marketing. What examples or strategies within marketing has created the most growth for your company?
The biggest one, which most people will tell you is not a good way to have, is word of mouth.
Yeah.
But that's been my biggest. Word of mouth, because it really just showcases what I give to people. When people talk good about our company, it's because I care about what you're buying. You're not just a number to us. I'm friends with every one of my clients. I mean, even the ones that just buy once and I may never hear from for another 5-10 years. I treat everybody.
Do you stay in contact with people?
Yeah. So my regulars I do, but one of the things we started in our office wise, because we're building our marketing, is the 30, 60, 90, 180, and then 360. So we want people to start calling people consistently. Just hey, I'm checking in. How's just make sure
how's
happy.
Your system working?
Yep.
Yeah. So make sure you're happy.
That I have. The other thing I have done is I started stepping back a little bit from being more, because every customer gets my phone number.
Okay.
But I was told this a long time ago from the gentleman Ken and Brandon. Both those guys would tell me, they're like, okay, it's great that you give everybody your phone number and your text and you're available, but at some point that's going to change. And why it's going to change is because it becomes too much. And so, I've gotten to that point where it's a lot. You get people calling you because you're the owner and this and that.
Yeah.
So I've kind of created some barriers. Now, at any point, somebody can get in touch with me and they could say, hey, Terry, your team isn't doing what they're supposed to do. But I've had to create those barriers to try to make it so it's a little bit, there's somebody else handling it.
Sure.
So
I mean, you do at some point. There's only 24 hours in a day, and you have to leverage.
I wish there was more. That's the one thing you can't buy is time.
Yeah.
So
well, you can through other people.
Yes,
surrounding yourselves with the people that either pick up the things that you're not good at.
Yes.
Or that could do it better.
Yep. And the other thing is, I actually tell people all the time is we sell time. So by buying smart homes,
Yeah.
it might be seconds or nanoseconds, but that time adds up over time.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, back to the question, it's it's word of mouth. Networking's been a huge proponent for me too, going to local events and stuff like that.
I've seen your name on a lot of things lately on Facebook.
Yep.
Golf tournament,
Yep.
Other sponsorships and stuff like that. You really get yourself involved in the community and helping out other organizations too.
Yeah, because without the community, honestly, we wouldn't be here.
Sure.
I mean, Hartford County's been great to us, so we try to give back as much as possible. We are doing our first golf event, and all proceeds beyond whatever the event is going to Hartford Family House, which is a local charity that helps homeless people.
Okay.
So that's a big thing that's happening lately. But yeah, we give back to any charity that's in the area. We love to help out. We love giving back to cleaning up, doing stuff around the community to give back wherever we can.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome. Yeah, I mean that's. And keep in contact with people, want to do like client appreciation events for ourselves, but also we want to link that to something that is providing some kind of charity to other organizations, stuff like that. So that's awesome. What's a daily habit that you do that helps promote your success?
So I learned this a while ago, actually, from my mom, which she probably got from somebody else that was I can't remember. It's an old motivator guy in real estate. Okay. It's basically do 3 things. 3 effective things, whatever it is. You wake up in the morning, you're going to say, I'm going to tackle these. Now, you may have 300 things.
Yeah.
But 3 things that you're going to complete that day.
Okay.
And get them done.
Okay.
So I write them down, whatever it is. Call this customer, call this vendor, handle this technician issue, whatever it is. I write them down and make sure I get those done, because that is the biggest problem with most people is they have so much going on and they get lost in the sauce that if you just those 3 things will help you feel more effective in the day.
That's awesome.
Yep.
You talked about learning a lot too. Do you read a lot? Do you listen to podcasts? Are there certain influencers? Like where do you get your education from outside of the trade shows and stuff like that?
Yeah. So one of the biggest I loved back in the day, he's kind of gotten a little bit too swarmy for me now, was Grant Cardone. I liked him back in the day. I would love to read. My brain doesn't allow me to read.
You're just always like you're always wanting to do something.
I see something. I did make it a goal for myself this past year to read a book every quarter, and I got halfway there. So I didn't hit my goal with it.
Okay.
Which is better than ever before. But I like reading books if I can. A lot of audiobooks.
Okay.
Podcast, Ed Millett, I like him.
I love Ed.
Tony Robbins, I think everybody likes him. Like I said, the Grant Cardone. There's a couple other people that are just off name that I listen to.
Yep.
I just put it on in the background. If I'm driving down the road, I don't really listen to music as much as I listen to podcasts or some audiobook or something like that. Zig
Ziglar once called it Automobile University.
It's subliminally. It just gets in your head, and,
exactly.
and you pick it up as you go. So I'll listen to the same book like 10 times before I pick up on something. So
okay. So you're more of an auditory learner, not a visual reader,
No,
I would love and that's okay.
I would love to. Trust me. My wife could sit there and read a book that's 300 pages in a night, and I'm like,
That's funny. What are you looking forward to the most this year?
Growth. I mean,
growth through people, growth through
a little bit of everything.
Money, customers,
everywhere. I mean, so we are looking to expand in the Rockville area. So our goal is within the next 2 years. But if it could happen this year, that'd be great. It just all depends. I mean,
there's a lot of nice homes down there.
There is. I mean, we dabble in that market, so we would kind of Our marketing team is already starting in there, so we've done 3 or 4 projects in the past couple months. Mm-hmm. The money's different. I mean, it's just different in that area. There's no question of whatever. It's just get it done. It's not, hey, can you send us a bid? It's, I need this, get this done.
When you're doing some of these nicer places, are you shooting video?
We do.
Are you documenting your journey?
We do, and that's another big thing. Our goal wise, we actually. one of our other, again, I have a couple, I'm blessed with mentors. I don't know if you know Life Med Institute.
I do, yeah.
So the owner of that is Vincent Vinny Magliano, and he's all over the place. He's growing. He's got a good group of people, and he's actually hooked me up with his videographer Tiger, who's helped us out. We have he's doing more and more videos for us. Cool. Because in the past we kind of just take pictures as we go, and with technicians, they go out, they have their iPads that we give them, and they take a picture, but it kind of gets lost in the sauce. So that's one of my goals this year is to be in CE Pro, because I've had so many houses. CE Pro is like, I don't know, what would it be for real estate for you guys, like top 100, I guess, or whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
Whatever it is, magazine wise.
Yep.
That's one of my goals. It's a dumb goal, but I just want to be able to showcase my work.
Yeah.
So that's one of our goals this year is to showcase a project that we've done. And then, like I said, just growth. I mean, we went through a past election cycle, again, not right, left, I don't care. It's just everybody was unsure. You know what I mean? So the last
Lots
year
of
was
uncertainty.
It's been chaotic for your industry. It's been chaotic for our industry because we're a luxury item. So we're the last to get thought of on every field. So
when the economy's doing well, you guys are doing well.
Yeah. So I mean,
but then when something goes big and wrong, then somehow that affects your timing on what you're doing.
It does. It always works out. For us, we're blessed with that. And again, because we diverse so much, because we own a security business, we own an IT company, we do electrical as well. Even the AV side, if that is hurting a little bit, we pick up in other areas. Security is always good. Everybody always wants security.
Yep.
IT, everybody always needs networking and stuff like that. So there's always something there for us to keep us busy. But the AV side is not as big a proponent. Other than COVID, that was the only time that really ever happened.
Yeah.
And again, I keep trying to go back to that, not to take up time, is when that happened, we saw $500,000 loss day one, because we were doing hospitals, we were doing government, and we were doing residential. And the first call we got was from Johns Hopkins, which was one of our biggest clients, and told us they were suspending all projects. Then the government called us and said they're suspending all their projects. And then clients didn't want us in their house.
Well, that's an interesting question. Right now, there's a lot going on with Doge and the government and cutting government spending and stuff like that. Are you starting to feel? Are you seeing customers that are being affected by that? That's affecting your business?
So yes and no. I mean, so some of the clients they were expecting it. Yeah, I mean they knew.
They knew it was.
Listen, the government sector's massive waste. I will say it's massive waste. You do a TV hang in a customer's house and maybe $200 to $300. You do it in a government application, it's $1,000. It's just crazy. It's really just waste. So some people are seeing waste, but the other parts of it is not waste. So he's putting money into other sectors that are important. So infrastructure into like fiber, networking stuff that really is important. He's putting it where it matters. So the government waste where we were doing stuff is not really affecting us.
Okay.
Very minimal, if any. I mean, you're talking like if they wanted a TV in a certain office or something like that. But the overall where he's spending, it's there. It hasn't stopped. It's an $850 billion sector. I mean, they dump money no matter what.
Yeah.
I mean, they may allocate it where it's going, but that side, no, we haven't seen. And we're still in this little weird phase where people are still like, okay, it's kind of like a new shoes type thing. Everybody, even though he's been here before, nobody knows exactly what's happening. So there's a lot going on, a lot of things happening. I like I said, I don't care right, left. I just, at the end of the day, it's business for me.
Yeah.
And that's what I hope is that we all end up on the same point. Everybody's successful. We get back to business as usual.
Sure.
So.
Yeah. Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
If you had the ability to go back and change anything outside of losing your father, of course, I think that would probably be number one.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you would have done differently?
I probably would have gone to college, or I would have gone for my electrical license. Trades are like falling apart right now. So I probably would have, and I'm pushing actually my son to do that. And I told him, hey,
how old are your kids?
My daughter is 13, my son is 16. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, I know. The time is
that's nuts.
Now you feel really old.
I remember. I mean, we met when you were like 16.
Yeah, I know. So it's
Holy
it's
crap.
a whole different generation. Trust me, I feel it. It's like a blink.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I'm pushing my son towards a trade as well. I told him, look, go get I don't care what it is, HVAC, plumbing, electrical. Go do that. And then after you get your time in for that, do whatever you want. If you want to take some time off maybe you want to be a doctor, maybe you want to be a bike builder. I don't care, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So you have something to fall back on.
Yeah.
And same for my daughter. She wants to get into cosmetology. I mean, she's 13, so it'll all change. But she's big in that. So she's actually my mini me. She's a mini entrepreneur. She started a slime business during COVID.
Let's go.
And now she does nails for her friends and stuff like that. So she's the mini me of entrepreneurship. My son is more the quiet type and worker. That's it. He's a hard worker and does what he has to do. So
he's got good examples in his life.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But yes, to change it up, I would get my electrical license or go to college for business degree. So that's it.
I'm sitting down with a bunch of students in March at Patterson Mill.
Okay.
And I'm going to be talking to them about the real estate business. A lot of young kids start seeing real estate now as something that a possible option. If you were able to stand in front of that class, knowing who you are, where you've come, how much you've put into it, what's one piece of advice you'd give these high school kids as you present to them?
Same thing I said earlier.
Persistence,
resistant. Yeah. I mean, it's really just failure is not an option. I mean, so a lot of people I don't even really believe in the word failure. So you're gonna go through a lot, and don't rush it. I mean, so have an idea of your goals or where you want to go to. I tell that to my kids now. I'm like, figure out what you want to do, where you want to be at. It doesn't the roadmap doesn't need to be all there for you, because it might change of which direction you go into. But at least figure out what you want to end up at, like some idea, whether it's a family and just 9-to-5 job, or a business owner, and whatever it is, just have a general idea where it is, and any failure that comes along the way is not a failure. You have to take something out of everything that happens that goes wrong and learn something from it. So then it's never a failure. Because I honestly, if you want to say it, I've failed dozens of times.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had to reset dozens of times. I've done the wrong thing, spent the money in the wrong place, or done this, or go down this road. So today, it's the same thing. I mean, it's still the same problem. So it's always learning something. So
yeah, but you're still progressing. You're still moving forward.
I mean, slower than I want to be right now. But yes.
But you're making moves.
Yes.
Because you're writing down 3 things a day, and you're getting those accomplished.
It's all matters.
Great habit.
3 things.
Man. If people want more information about Elite Home Entertainment, if they want to they've heard this, they want to chat with you, where can people connect with you?
So we're all over the place. We have a great marketing team, but we're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or X now. You can also call us at our office, 410-809-2422. You could call me directly if you want to sit down and just kind of get a one-on-one. My number is 443-866-9553. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram as well. I don't actively.
Is that house picture on your Facebook page? Is that your house now, or is that the one that you're going to be living in?
So the car is my. We were talking about goals earlier.
Yeah.
And the one goal on my list was to have a Porsche GT3 by 40. I'm turning 40 this year. So
okay.
We'll see if this is one of the big milestones.
That's awesome, man.
So that is the house I want, and exactly how I want it, and the car I want. So that was our goal for our this year. So we'll see what happens.
Well, I'm so proud of you, man.
I appreciate it.
I'm so proud of you. I look at you, knowing you from when you were a teenager to now. I see I see you in a lot of me.
That's awesome.
And I think we do have a lot of parallel things that have happened in our life, and I'm just excited to see where you take all this.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you. All you guys back in the day were a big proponent of where I am today.
That's
awesome.
If I
didn't have the good teachers back then, that's a big thing too.
Yeah.
You know, big people in your life that help you succeed.
Yeah, man.
So,
awesome.
All right.
Thanks so much. Hey, if you're not following us yet, I don't know what your problem is. I always say that. I don't know why. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at the Markland Advantage, and on YouTube as well at the Markland Advantage. We just passed 1,000 subscribers like the other night. I texted Drew. I was like, Drew, dude, check this out, man.
Well, let's hope we can send you some more, because we're going to be sharing you all over the place.
That's awesome, man. Much success to you in the future. And until next time, live your life to the fullest, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks,
Take care.
Man.
So did you like this episode of the TMA Connection? Well, you might want to check this one out right here. Go ahead. Click it. Go ahead.